Toyota 4Runner second generation, N120 N130, 1989 to 1995. Toyota issued a second generation of Hilux Surf and 4Runner in 1989 for the 1990 model year. Known as the N120/N130 series, these models continued their reliance on the Hilux pickup as a basis. It represented a fundamental departure from the first generation model. Instead of an enhanced pickup truck with fiberglass cap, the new 4Runners featured a freshly designed, full-steel integrated body mounted on the existing frame. However, the 4Runner did remain virtually identical to the Hilux from the B-pillars forward. It also gained an all-new coil spring rear suspension system, which unfortunately proved to be just as prone to sagging as the leaf springs on the rear of the previous models. Nearly all second-generation 4Runners were four-door models. However, from launch in 1989 to May 1993, a two-door model was also produced. These models are similar to the four-door models of the time in that the bodies were formed as a single unit, instead of the fiberglass tops used in the first-generation 4Runners. Two-door cars of the second generation are extremely rare. U.S. sales ended in August 1992, but it continued to be available in the Canadian market through 1993, and Japan until May 1993. Because the drivetrain was still developed from the same source, the available engines were identical, the same 2.4 liters four-cylinder, 22RE, and 3.0 liters V6, 3VZ, engines were available in rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive layouts. The new 4Runner used the independent front suspension that had been developed on the previous generation. The older style gear-driven transfer case was phased out on the V6 models and they now had a chain-driven case. The older gear-driven case was retained on the four-cylinder models. The Hilux Surf version for the Japanese market was also available with a range of diesel engines, including a 2.4 liters turbodiesel 2 liters TI4 up to 1993, followed by a 3.0 liters turbodiesel 1KZ TI4. Small numbers were also made with a normally aspirated 2.8 liters diesel 3 liters i4, a 2.0 liters 3Y i4 naturally aspirated gasoline engine, and 2.4 liters 22RE-i4 gasoline engine. The majority of petrol versions of the Hilux Surf received the 3.0 liters V6. Various trim levels were offered in Japan ranging from the base model SSR through SSR Limited, SSRV SSRX and SSRX Limited to the range-topping SSRG. Most other full-body SUVs produced at the time, for example Nissan Pathfinder, Ford Explorer, featured tailgates that opened upward with the glass closed. In contrast, the second-generation 4Runner carried over the retractable glass tailgate from the first generation. Opening these tailgates requires first retracting the rear window into the tailgate and then lowering the tailgate much like as on a pickup truck. In 1991 for the 1992 model year, the 4Runner received minor cosmetic updates, including one-piece front bumpers and modular headlamps instead of the increasingly outdated rectangular sealed beams. This facelift distanced the 4Runner somewhat from the Hilux pickups which did not receive the same cosmetic changes. At this time a wide-body version was introduced featuring extended wheel arch flares along with wider wheels and tires.